The final countdown. G'day and welcome to the latest episode of I'll get my words out in a minute. Love Engineering Live. I'm just breaking these teeth in for a horse. It's all good. So today we're talking with Maria Adriana. And we're talking interrupting patterns, energy, and above all else, people pleasing. And we might even talk about Catwoman.
Oh, amazing. Did you hear that?
I did
I
indeed.
regret saying that. It's true.
It's all good.
It's
all good. So shall we get that bit out of the way now then?
Shall we? No, actually, let's not. Okay.
No, we'll leave that till the
Catwoman
end. See if anyone asks who Catwoman is.
You can ask, and then we'll send you the link on a need-to-know basis. Let's keep it mysterious.
So, would you like to share a little bit about yourself, your journey, and how you came to the healing space, for want of a better description?
Wow, that's a good question. So I was born at the beginning of a very nasty dictatorship in Chile, where there was mass genocide and I lost a family member. We came to England when I was young as refugees. So all of that terrible trauma and tragedy sent me on a midlife crisis at the beginning of my life to figure out what the bleep is going on, what the bleep's life all about, and what the bleep can I do to not feel so awful. So my healing journey has been my life, really. And so fast forward now, I've been teaching and facilitating. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, that's better.
That's better.
The sound disappeared for a minute. It's like, what's going on?
Did it go? I'm underwater.
Something like that.
Did it do that? Did it all just turn to cats?
Yeah, joys of modern technology.
I'm just going to get this out of the way. There. Right, just saying. Okay, so where were we? What bit did you hear? I just truncated my life into 30 seconds.
Well, I kind of know your story reasonably well anyway. The last thing I heard was about the Chile dictatorship, and so yeah, half of it.
So the first 5 seconds. So my life has been very traumatic and tragic, and so my whole life has been about figuring out what the bleep's going on, how the bleep can I feel better than awful all the time. So that sent me on a journey of self-inquiry, of existence, of asking the big questions, but at the beginning of my life, not at the midlife crisis point, which people generally happen to have around my age, which is around 47 or thereabouts. So I've been doing that T-shirt and story all of my life. And I have deeply soul searched and tried all the different not all of them, but most of them. And most of them haven't been very good. And some of them have been. And then I thought, I'll do it myself, said the little red hen. So I've just created a load of self-help techniques, conscious communication tools, and very deep non-verbal retraining patterns that do actually work, because they work on me. They work on my guinea pig, who's my husband, and they work on the people that I've trialed these processes on. So does that answer your question?
Excellent. When you say it's conscious training, is that I'm guessing that's a lot of energetically and more than just playing with people's minds, for want of a better suggestion?
So that's a good question. So Einstein said the level at which a problem operates is not that, and I suggest the level at which the problem operates is the level of the mind, because I'm thinking or trying to figure it out or overthink it or can't decide. And so all of that conflict happens in my mind.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to convince somebody else of my point of view or trying to get them to see my perspective. So all of that is mental is mental play, mind activity. And Einstein also said that the solution operates at a different level to where the
Yeah.
problem operates. So what I suggest is that the level at which the solution resides in, which I've discovered to be true through my findings, experimentations on real humans and cats, is a non-verbal awareness. So I'm not going to give any more away than that, but the tools that I've created are my own. I've test driven them, and they work because here's why they work. When there is, so for example, imagine you've done all the good things in the morning. You've done your yoga, you've done your meditation, you've done your run, you've had your green juice, you've had your ice bath, you've done your journaling, your gratitude list, your affirmations, and you've done your intentions. You've done all these good things. And then later that day, the SH1T hits the fan. And it all goes out the window. Because in that moment, the SH1T hits the fan, or the push comes to shove moment, or the I'm losing my SH1T moment, rubber hits the road moment, it's instant. There's no time to actually go into the mental realm and figure things out. I don't have time to find out or discover or remember what do I need to say in this situation, because then I need to go through my files in my mind and go, right, this is a toxic situation and I need to be assertive, or I need to not say anything, or I need to do this, not that. There are lots of binary processing going on in my mind. That moment, it's just all CRAP. There isn't time to do any of that. The thing that I offer, and the exercises, the games that I offer, there's instant access to that intelligence. What I need to do is available instantly, because I'm not working at this level where there isn't enough time. Does that make sense?
It does for me. For me, it sounds very much like getting that brain and that brain in the heart actually talking to each other. Because when we shut that brain in the heart out, we only have that one, and that has many, many limitations.
Yeah, yeah. There's
And
another brain as well,
yes, in the
or
gut.
and the gut, yeah, and other bits and bobs. I won't go into the detail, but
Yeah, they're all
there is
connected.
so much intelligence available. And because I've been taught, trained, conditioned, and educated to mainly use my brain and my mental intelligence, that has then excluded all the other
Yeah,
intelligences out there. And so I'm here to just go, hey, there's loads more resources available. Want to try it? Because it works. Otherwise,
absolutely.
I wouldn't be here.
Nor would any of us.
Good point.
Yes,
Actually, I think it's really important to acknowledge and congratulate myself and you. Well done for surviving your life thus far. Yay! Huge kudos.
yeah, stubbornness is a beautiful gift sometimes. I'm
What
too
makes you
stubborn to
say
quit.
that? What makes you say that?
I was too stubborn to quit my own life when I was thinking about it.
Oh, wow. Gosh, I hear that.
So yeah, it was a very interesting time. But when I look back on it now, it was a very, shall we say, life changing moment in a way upon reflection. But also as a coach, when I'm working with somebody who's either been there or is in that place, I get it. And that is half the battle, because unless you get it, then the person you're working with just thinks they're wasting their time and there's going to be no change. But when you can say, look, I know what it's like because I've been there, this is what I found, and this is how I can relate, then it's like, oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And that's why I tell my story to kickstart, to go, hey, shit happens. Life's a bitch and then you die or not. There are choices, and they're not where I've been led to believe they are. So me too, absolutely. And I just think that being real, being compassionate, and I'm not the expert that has all the answers and is perfect, because I don't believe in that.
Yeah,
I'm a human being who's super duper brave and courageous. That's good for me.
Yes, I think any industry, whether it's the healing injury, the health and wellness, or where my history lies in the engineering world, one of the things I was taught at college is anybody who believes they know everything in this trade is in the wrong trade. Because things change all the time and they progress, and there's always new technologies, always new knowledge. I don't know everything. And personally, I don't know anybody who does. So much of what a good coach does is about asking the right questions, not having all the answers.
Lovely.
So, people pleasing. Shall we talk about where it comes from? I know myself, I've been a people pleaser in the past, and I believe you've got something related to people pleasing coming up in the near future. Is that
Oh
right?
yes, I do. Thank you. Um, so I've Me too. Right. I've been a people pleaser all my life because I'm energy sensitive. I'm an empath, so I feel what other people are feeling, even if they don't. So I want to. I like harmony. I like people to be happy and well, and I like kindness. So I don't like conflict. So I've been that one to not want to upset people because I just prefer it when things are good. You know, that's my choice. So that tendency and that intention, which is actually a beautiful one, can then run me into sticky, murky water. Sticky water? Honey. I shrunk the kids. No. So it can get me into difficulty. And so by me being a people pleaser, so not wanting conflict and just trying to appease and create resolution and harmony, so being a fixer, I learnt that that's actually creates more conflict for me because I'm not then being true to myself. And
Yes.
then when I'm not true to myself, I then hate myself on the inside. And then ultimately, I betray myself. And that I distinguish is what causes suffering for me. And that piece is avoidable. Because then
Very
if I
much so.
reverse engineer that, and I go, right, really angry, I've betrayed myself, I hate myself, oh shit, why did I do that so badly? I hate this situation, rah, rah, rah. So I work back from that and go, okay, how can I not betray myself? Wow, I'm going to need to speak my truth in a way that's respectful and does no harm. But I need to stake my ground, and I need to communicate consciously what's there for me and what it is that I need, rather than passively receiving lots of toxicity that I really would rather not. So I need to not betray myself by having authenticity and being real and being honest, which again is very, very difficult, especially if the other person wants me to be what they want me to be. So that's people pleasing, and that's the dynamic understood in general as codependence. And so then I reverse back and I go back to step two. Okay, so I don't betray myself, then I speak my truth, and then it's not. Here's the thing that nobody really talks about. It ain't pretty because that other person doesn't want me to be in my power and say no. Actually, I'm not okay with that. They don't. They want me to go. Yes, great, okay.
Especially in
So
the
then
codependency world.
Yeah. So then the key piece is they're not going to like it. They're not going to like me communicating consciously what it is that I need and I'm willing to do and not do. So that's going to lose me friends and jobs, and it has. However, I would rather be true to myself, not betray myself, and not put myself and my needs last, or even second to somebody else, because I know out of my own personal experience that just doesn't work. And I think I'm so amazing. I wouldn't do that to myself, actually. I just wouldn't. And so I've coined the term, actually my hubby did, because he's the most amazing wordsmith, the term people pleasing prison, just to encapsulate and understand that concept of I'm giving my power away, or as he puts it, I'm pissing my power away. And I don't need to do that. I can keep it here and I can be powerful without being aggressive, without being a narcissist. And then I can just own my life, own my reality, own my stuff. That's what I call consciousness. And just live a life that's just really free and fabulous. And that's possible because I've achieved that. And he's achieved that. We've got a really conscious, very harmonious relationship. And
Excellent.
that doesn't look like flowers and roses. It looks like if stuff comes up, I communicate consciously and go, wow, I'm really going through this. Is it okay to share with you? Yes, it is. Well, blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Well, I really hear you, darling. Thank you. I feel better. Didn't need to give me advice, didn't need to tell me what to
Yeah.
do. But this is a relationship that's very conscious, that's very intimate. So I'm not hiding, I'm not tiptoeing, I'm not right-siding or being toxically positive, just saying everything's great, it's all good, are you okay? I'm okay, you okay? A people pleaser will very typically say, you okay? You okay? You okay? So annoying. So annoying. So we always want everything to be okay. And I just feel that in my observation is a trauma response
Yeah.
reflex. So that's, and thank you for allowing me to share. I'm doing a free course next week, headlined Supercharge Your Personal Power. So personal power is the opposite to being a people pleaser, and freedom. And the subheading is step out of people pleasing prison and live life on your terms, which is another way of saying self-actualization, or just not selling out on myself.
Yes. What I find is people pleasers, and certainly myself in the past, these things called boundaries, don't have them. Or rather, we do, but we ignore them to make the other person happy, to keep the peace. And it doesn't work. And that doesn't matter what gender somebody is, whether what their sexuality is. If you cross your boundaries to make somebody else happy, then you're not making yourself happy. Not
Absolutely.
not doing that self-care thing,
And
which is
also
a
in your
must.
absolutely in your experience as a relationships coach, how do you see that dynamic playing out in relationships?
It's it's all over the place,
Yeah.
and even sometimes a codependency will show up in most bizarre ways, in bizarre places, but
Such as?
such
I'm
as
curious now.
one of the areas I found it is in the BDSM community, between the dominant and submissive.
Okay.
And at the same time, in that area, I also found way better communication than outside of it, which was a real eye opener for me. But I also found that a lot of the submissives get a little bit confused between being submissive and being a people pleaser. Because at the end of the day, so the submissive one is the one with the power, because they've got got the power to say, safe word, stop now, and it all stops when it's done properly.
Wow.
But then if somebody's got that people pleasing trait, they will still go over that boundary, not safe word, and blame the dominant.
Gosh.
Because there's a lot of trauma in that area.
Wow.
It can be a great healing thing,
Yeah.
providing they are both present and conscious and communicate properly.
Right. Really interesting point. So I've just been watching, I mean, I've caned season 4, 5, and 6 of Married at First Sight, Australia, because it's a reality TV show all about relationships and how they do and don't work, mostly don't. Now, something that I've noticed is that the experts, so there are three, have you seen it?
I haven't, no.
Okay.
I've
All
heard
right.
of it, but
Okay. All right. It's just really fascinating. So there's a panel of three experts and they're relationship guides, counselors, okay, with different perspectives. And at best, the coaching that they give a rowing couple is you need to communicate more.
well, this is true. But
But yeah, but
the-
how? Like, if somebody, I mean, that is just like saying something really obvious. Like, to me, it's like, yes, but they clearly don't know how to communicate because they're
yeah,
in a toxic, people pleasing, lashing out, not speaking, passive aggressive dynamic. So to say to them, stop fighting and communicate doesn't work because they don't understand, they don't have a map of, well, what does conscious or healthy communication look like? What's a boundary? See what
yeah,
I mean? And I'm just thinking, what?
yeah.
I've got so much
Schools
work to
don't teach
do.
communication.
No,
They
they,
don't teach relationships,
well, that's interesting.
which
Yeah.
is
Why do you think? Yeah.
a big part of it. And
Yeah. Interesting.
a lot of people say, "Oh, that's taught at home." Well, that's all very well and good, but it depends on how the parents communicate and what their skills and knowledge. But because they weren't taught at school and their parents weren't taught, nobody is. We have to work
Absolutely.
it out for ourselves.
I agree. Absolutely.
The number of
Absolutely.
times I've spoke to my guy friends where they've kind of phoned me up, it's like, "Oh, this is stuff's going on," and she won't listen. I said, "Well, you shut the fuck up and listen. Don't try and fix anything.
Ooh.
Don't try and do anything. Just listen and say, I want to make sure that you feel I understand where you're at." When
Oh,
she
wow.
feels heard, then you have your say. And
Wow.
they phone me up about an hour later, Issa, and say, "Wow, that's amazing. I've never done that before." I said, "Yeah, I bet you do it again, though."
Wow. And thanks. We've just had great makeup sex. Hey, that's incredible. I mean, just when you said that, that was a silly joke, by the way. When you said that, you see, that's just a really great, very powerful, very simple communication tool that I was never taught.
Yeah,
That I had to suffer and suffer and suffer and get really depressed and hate myself in order to discover that works. And nobody teaches
it's
that. Really,
who are you more
really,
likely to listen to? The person that listens and understands you, or the
yeah,
person that spends the whole time trying to convince you that they're right?
yeah,
Which one would
exactly.
give more respect to? The one that
Yeah,
listens.
yeah.
Like we have two ears, one mouth. We need to use that in that proportion.
That's
And
lovely.
as well as just listening to know what to say something back, listen to hear the message,
Mm.
especially when you communicate with a woman. Because they'll communicate on the surface level and expect you to dig deeper like a woman does.
Oh,
Us
yeah.
guys don't do that.
Yeah.
This is
I
what
feel
she
real.
said. This is obviously what she meant.
I feel really strongly about that because actually I tend to see things more from a male perspective. I may have the body of a weak and feeble woman, but I have the mind and might of a man. Said who said that? You know.
Um,
Oh, don't.
there's part of me that's trying to say it was Frankenfurter in the Rocky Horror Show, but he was a dude.
Probably. Yeah, absolutely. So allegedly, Queen Elizabeth I said that. And I relate to that. I identify with that. I think that the way that my mind works is more the masculine wiring.
Yeah,
So I feel terribly heartbroken when a woman, and I've had this experience as well, listening to other women, and I've done it myself as well. So I'm guilty of that too, which is why I'm so passionate about conscious communication so that I don't repeat these things and cause harm to others and fall down those same holes. Conscious communication solves all of that problem, which means I own everything that I'm saying as my own, not expecting you to figure me out, not expecting you to read my mind, not expecting you to sort me out. No, it's my responsibility. It just breaks my heart that there's that expectation. And I just observed that men are just kept so in the dark by that, well, you should know how I feel kind of assumption. You know, I mean, I think assumptions are very damaging anyway, but just that one, it just creates real conflict, and it needn't do.
Yeah.
It needn't do, but then it takes a great deal of ego death for an individual to say, I'm really angry, I feel stupid, and that's just what's there for me.
Yeah, especially in this certainly in this country, and probably America, Australia, and the whole Western world, if you like, where anger, frustration, all these things are seen as bad emotions. They're not bad. They're just a warning sign that, look, you need to sort some shit out. You're close to your boundaries.
Exactly. You know what? I was browsing on Instagram earlier, and there's this lovely guy. He's a coach, and he's got a lovely Scottish accent. He's very quiet and gentle and soft spoken, quite like yourself, very wise. And he was saying, I'm going to give you the biggest secret to healthy communication. I thought, oh, I'm interested. I love conscious communication. So I listened on, and he's very, very quiet, and he gets to the point. And then he said conflict. And I thought, oh, this is good. He said conflict. He said, most people are not willing to be with conflict. So that's what we're saying about
Yeah,
people pleasing. I'll do
avoid it.
anything to not cause, to not upset, or to, you know, I just want you to be happy. You know, you okay? You okay? You okay? I'm okay. You okay? Everything good? Everything okay? So he was saying it's about going into the conflict. And I mean, I couldn't agree more, just because I consider myself to be like a cathartic fire sort of energy that wants to just sit with whatever's here, because that's what wants to be known to me. So I'd go into the center of it, because I just know from a gazillion times of experience that that's what works the quickest.
Yeah,
And that stops suffering. It just cuts it off, because then I'm facing it. And usually it's just uncomfortable emotions that nobody wants to experience. But I I'm very intentional about going into those uncomfortable emotions, because there's just such wisdom in those experiences. And underneath that, there's just light. There's joy. And that's the lovely bit that sadly people don't get to. So
yeah,
too busy trying to people please, and too busy just trying to present that everything's fine when it's not. And I'm not being a pessimist, but life's hard. It's pretty shit. I mean, I'm a very positive, naturally optimistic person. I'm a very bright, sunny disposition person, but I'm a realist.
yeah,
You know, I don't cover things up with toxic positivity when they're not, when there's something there, when there's an elephant in the room. No, give respect to the elephant and to me, and have a conversation. That's how I stop people pleasing on a mental level.
yeah. So I think the positivity idea of focus on the positive. There's no
Oh,
negative. What a load
yeah.
of tripe.
Leave negative Nancy at the door.
Yeah. Okay. We're like a
Go
magnet.
F yourself.
Have north and south pole within, whether
I
it's
know.
a massive magnet or a tiny little 1 millimeter ball. Those two poles are going to be there.
I know.
You cannot escape it.
I mean, beautifully said from an engineering perspective, and from my clarity perspective, I absolutely agree. Why is that? Why is that a problem? But from the egoic patterning that is the fear separation program, that is the conditioning that I've been at the effect of all my life, and I wonder if everybody else has been as well, because I'm not thick. I'm a very intelligent person. However, I'm still at the effect of deeply negative programming and fear
Yeah.
separation based information. So that's what's there to disenmesh. And of
Yeah.
course, there's a positive and a negative side. It's not one to exclude all others, but the bright siding positive thinking movement was intentionally created and funded. I think in the 1900s, there's an incredible body of work by this woman. She's written 2 books with bright siding in the title and toxic positivity. I came across it really recently, and it's just incredible because it unpacks the whole people pleasing thing. And it was designed in order to keep workers in corporates, so workers in America, upbeat and positive instead of complaining. And instead of speaking their truth, and instead of demanding their rights, their workers' rights. So they'd instead, if they're playing up, they'd get put on a positive thinking course.
Yeah, sit down and be a good slave. I mean, oops, slip
Absolutely.
of the tongue. I mean,
Yeah.
employee,
Yeah.
to use
Absolutely.
the official
Absolutely.
term now. Not there's a
Exactly.
lot of difference.
Absolutely. And I really see that society and the construct of society, industrialist society, is to create good workers that are obedient.
Yes,
So
the whole
being good,
school system is set up for that.
exactly, being good girl and being good boy is teaching compliance training. It's not teaching resourcefulness, your whole complete and resourceful. And I'm not speaking to your wholeness. No, I want to get like people per hour out of you. I want to get production and results. So really, it's a much deeper conversation, and so it just breaks my heart. That's why I talk so much about it. That that an individual human is just walking their path, just sitting about feeling really bad and wrong and stupid. Like why is that relationship so difficult? Why did I f that up? Why didn't I do this and not that? Well, why? Because I'm under the effect of a very, very big, program that is negatively polarizing. That's why. You're
Yeah,
innocent. You're not stupid.
it's all based
I'm
on
not
fear.
stupid. Yeah, exactly. So, so I'm just here really. Ultimately, my mission is just to let people know if they're interested. You are so amazing. You're so whole. You're so resourceful. You're so everything that you've ever wanted to be. You are that now. Whatever you do or don't do, whatever you say or don't say, who you are is an effing miracle. Like, if only you could see what I can see, because I've been on that journey, that soul's journey, the hero's journey, the fool's journey. And the ultimate discovery at the end is wow, I'm not all that bad after all. Actually, I'm absolutely amazing, and so are blooming you. And imagine if we all related from that place. I mean, wow, that's why I'm here.
Yes, we're all here to either learn something or teach something,
Yeah, or both.
and
Yeah.
to experience things. And I remember watching Bruce Lipton and Greg Braden talking about the human experience and saying, "Oh, we're pretty much just like computers." And Bruce says, "Well, and this is true. And if I am having a human experience and I can't die, even if my body does,
Ooh, that's deep.
I'm I've got nothing to be afraid of. But
Right.
then, if I can't die anyway, what's the point in having this human experience if this body is not me?"
Wow, that's really brilliantly
And
mind
his
melty.
answer to that
Okay,
is
what's the point?
absolutely
Yeah.
phenomenal. He
Oh,
says,
go
"Well,
on.
what would chocolate taste like?
Yeah.
You wouldn't have a clue. Because as a spirit, you don't have those 5 senses. You don't have those experiences.
Yeah.
So we're here to
Yeah.
create an experience."
And that's the beautiful thing. Like, the angels up in heaven are just having pretend cups of tea and cake and having these same conversations, I think. But they're just fantasizing about, oh, do you remember what cakes taste like? I know. Or just imagine
Either
it.
either that, or they're just all around us laughing their socks off because we just
I
don't
think
get it.
so. I agree. I mean, I think so. But, oh, I was going to say something so good there. And it's going, gone. Oh, that's right. That's right. So absolutely, like from a I'm a spirit in my body or I'm a spirit not in my body. The whole point of being here, for me, the meaning of life and everything, why am I here, is to feel.
Yeah,
Is to feel all of it. All of
and we're
it.
taught not to.
And we're taught not to, absolutely, and that it's bad to be angry and be a good boy. And the amount of times I hear at the supermarket or in typically on campsites, I wrote a blog about this actually called the shadow monster. But don't cry, little Johnny, you're on holiday, you should be happy. So I'm just being controlled and funneled and taken down this labyrinth and just told what to do and how to be. Is
Yeah,
this really why we came? I don't think so.
I
I think
should
that the
be
soul
this.
is
I
the
should be
artist.
that.
Yeah, all the shouldings. Exactly. But
How about I
if
just be me?
exactly, I know. And I've just been on a really deep and very powerful transformational journey of marketing. Like sales and marketing sounds boring as anything, right? It's been this most existential journey of actually the whole end game and holy grail is marketing is me sharing myself authentically, just being real. That's it. That's what people are buying. Beautiful
Yeah,
thing. Beautiful thing. And how I am and how you are could not be more perfect because I've been taught that perfect is this other thing. I say Rolex to that. No, it's not. I say perfect is you how you are right now, me how I am right now. And that is so because I say so. And I don't need permission from you to define what something is that's perfect. It's in front of my eyes. So then I'm not going to miss out on my life. I'm not going to waste time looking and trying it. Isn't that a really interesting ideology? I'm reaching and striving to be perfect, to be more, to do more, to achieve more, to earn more, but to be slimmer. And it's all outside of myself. Isn't that convenient? So then when does it get to the bit where I can actually just enjoy my life? I say that happens now because I say so. That's me not people pleasing. That's me being free and sovereign
yeah,
and awake.
yeah. It's the people pleasing. It's like, how often when you're in the mindset do we actually look in the mirror and say, "Oh yeah, I'm people too"? Nah,
Oh, that's
all
deep.
outside. All outside. We don't look inside at all. We
Yeah.
don't look at ourselves and say, "Yeah, I am people. I deserve to be pleased and happy and have my
Oh,
shit sorted as much as everybody else."
that's lovely. I see your new book, I Am People by Alan Watts, the love engineer. Oh, that's so curious. It's so intriguing. Like, what? I Am People. Wow, what's that? That's great.
You never know. It could happen.
It could happen to you. Oh my
I've
God, do you
heard
know
about
what?
your hypnotic sleep.
I know. I was on the seafront with him this morning. We were just having a little sit down and cup of tea. And I had my ukulele out because I like to just play outdoors. It's very nice. I said, all right, let's just play with, can I sing you a song without you yawning? And he actually managed it. He managed to. I used to
Excellent.
do gigs and I'd get him to come and obviously support me and sit at the front like my little teddy bear watching. And I'd be singing and playing and just see him just yawning, yawning. You better stay at home. It's a compliment. It's good to give relaxing tones. Life's too stressy. Like I'm here to do the opposite. That's the thing about
Absolutely.
negative programming. It's really, really simple and easy to work out. If something's quite shit, do the opposite. Like there's likely to be some light there.
Yeah.
If the world is telling me I have to be more, earn more, do the opposite. Relax. Yay, happiness. It's amazing. It's so easy.
And it's also contagious. So
Tell
when
me more about
someone's
that.
well, when someone's happy, there's part of every single person, even the most miserable buggers on the planet, that look at them and say, I wish I could be like that. They can.
Yeah, it's a choice. Talking of which, one of my favourite games is zipping through past the security guards at my local supermarket without a mask, but a really big smile, and I wave at them. And it's just such reverse psychology because they respond with this. I'm like, la, la, la! I won. I can do that because I'm a licensed security guard, so I can do that. I can get away with that. I know the rules.
I make my own up.
Yeah, exactly. Me too. But that's the thing. Like, I'm intrinsically very, very playful, and there's just opportunities everywhere to play. Like, even if it's in my mind with thoughts or ideas, but especially going out and about, there's just fun opportunities everywhere. And I have those available to me if I'm not under the negative conditioning program that I happen to call people pleasing prison. But actually, I mean, it's a broader thing than that. But if I'm just aware, wow, that's a fear thing, so I'm not going to choose that, and I know that I am actually light, then that's what I am. Then I've opted out of hell, and
Yes,
I'm
for me,
creating a new earth.
yeah. For me, hell isn't this burning hole that you go to if you die, if you've been a naughty boy or girl.
I agree.
It's part of a human experience.
Mm.
And it's when you're feeling shit and not living in alignment with who you are.
Mm.
Because it certainly feels like it when you're there.
Yeah, of course. But I think that's the important role as a way shower, as a guide, you know, that I take upon myself to do is just to go, hey, all that hellish, nasty, toxic suffering, it's this, and you can choose to understand and know that that's not actually who you really are. So then you can choose, well, I'm not going to opt into that program.
Yeah.
And what beautiful, beautiful thing to do, to just go, hey, it's possible to stop the world I'm getting off, but actually stay here and have a bloody good time and have a laugh.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Laughter heals many
Got to
things.
have a laugh. Yeah. And listen to Derek and Clive on my old iPod, which is absolutely hilarious.
Is that a little panda I see behind you?
Oh, yeah. There's absolutely loads of pandas here. So I'm absolutely totally obsessed with pandas, and I always have been. And I thought I was the biggest panda fan in the world until the other weekend I met this woman, and I don't know why we got talking about pandas, but I got talking about my dolls because I make dolls, some of which are in the background there. And she said, do you sell them? I said, no, because I make them from the heart. So actually, I can't really sell them. I tend to just really give them with love. And she said, you know what? My ceramics is the same. I make beautiful ceramics, but again, I just do it as very special gifts. I don't. So we both said, okay, brilliant. Well, why don't we do an exchange? I'll give you a beautiful doll because I'd made a little Frida Kahlo doll that she saw. And she said, well, I'll make you a beautiful piece of ceramic. What would you like? I said, well, do you do mugs? Because I love my tea. And she said, yes. She says, well, what would you like on your mug? I said, oh, would you be able to do a panda on a mug? She went, of course I could. And then It turns out, oh my God, she gets out her phone. I literally passed her today in the street. She gets out her phone and shows me, I'm so jealous, it's ridiculous, a picture of her sitting with a giant panda in China. Like, that's my bucket list. And then another picture, or no, I didn't see the picture, but she told me she cuddled baby pandas and she worked in a panda sanctuary teaching English. I'm like,
With the
oh my
pandas.
God, yeah, yeah. Not to the pandas, to the assistants,
Okay.
but you have to pay 100 quid to go and teach English in the panda sanctuary. So, but she said, I'm so nuts about pandas. I learned TEFL, teach English as a foreign language. I then went, anyway, so she totally outpanded me. That's the story. That's the story. So, yeah, she's my new best friend. I can't wait. I said, can we just have panda coffee and just talk about pandas all day? She went, yeah, definitely. So
I
that's
got
the
to meet
panda.
some.
That's the reason why there's so many pandas everywhere. I love them.
I did get to see some pandas in China, but unfortunately didn't get to
Did
meet
you?
or cuddle them.
You
Yeah,
you went to China and saw pandas. Oh my God, I'm so jealous. So
yeah.
tell me.
My kid's mother was Chinese, so we had to go and visit the relatives.
Wow.
So,
Oh wow. Amazing. Gorgeous.
yeah,
Have
it
they
was,
got panda onesies?
I don't
Cute.
think so. No,
Oh, I'll be
or
cute.
if they have, they didn't show me. But yeah, I did see
Gorgeous.
some pandas at one of the zooey type places we went to. Can't remember.
Yeah.
I think it was somewhere near Shenzhen.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that where
And
they all live? Is that where they're from?
no, they're from all over the place. But
Wow.
she had her reasons for taking me there, but I've already
Oh.
covered that in the book. So,
Oh, what book? What book?
um, what book?
Is it the
It's
Love Engineer? How to Engineer Your Love Life book? There's another
no,
book title for you. It's giving you free book mentoring.
it
What's your
is
book?
that one there.
Oh wait, Running Wild, Running Free. Wow. And what's on the? Is that a cat? Tiger.
It's a tiger,
It's a tiger.
and the idea behind the image
Oh, amazing. Yeah.
is that when we're in there,
Yeah.
we're like a tiger in a zoo.
Yeah.
But when we're in our hearts, tiger's wild and running free.
Love that. Eye of the tiger. That's
Yeah, also a
amazing.
subtle nod to Survivor, and also a certain British cabaret act that
What?
their first
What?
first
What?
single was called "Running Free."
Oh, sing a bit. Name that tune. Oh,
You don't want
God.
to hear my singing,
I
but
do.
you don't.
I do. I do.
You might want to, but it ain't happening now.
Right, let's
So,
just think of all the Tiger songs. Well, that book looks incredible. I love that. That's a beautiful metaphor.
indeed. So that's plug me book,
Great.
plug my book, plug your course. Happy days.
Can I plug a book?
You can if you like.
Actually, it's kind of on topic. It's about people pleasing and not people pleasing. I'll just go. It's just there. Oh God, I have a tiger in my head now. This is probably. Oh, good. It's the right way round. That's good. Being fine, the other F word.
Yes, I've read
Does that
some of
speak
that
for
one.
itself? Oh wow.
It does
Does
indeed.
that speak for itself? Yeah. So it's just about. It's a collaborative book. Got all those gorgeous mugs there. All these amazing people sharing their stories about when life got freaky and they decided to stop being fine and get real.
Too right.
So yeah, so there we go. Yes.
It's all a journey.
Journey song. Right, name a journey song. Name that tune, your turn. This feels like late
Journey.
night on a Friday. Smoking. Like being 16. Yeah. Journey song. Your turn.
Don't stop believing. There you go. That's
I
one.
knew
Probably the most famous one.
That was in my head just a second ago. I've seen the video for that. It's so cheesy. The guy's hair.
No, I can't say that I have, or certainly
I
not
actually
recently.
did. I did recently.
They also used it in a soundtrack of, what's it, Rock of Ages or something? A
Yeah,
Tom
that's right.
Cruise film.
Yeah. Yeah,
Weird
yeah.
film. It's good,
Yeah.
but weird.
Let's not talk about Tom Cruise.
Indeed.
Let's not.
We could go off at certain tangents.
Oh, we could just do that. It could just do that or one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, not everyone will believe everything that I could say about him. But anyway, it's enough of that. So, yeah, we're getting close towards the end. So, how about a question like, what is one thing that people don't know about you
Have we
that they
been
really should?
talking for nearly an hour? Can't be. Can it?
It's 10 to 5.
Oh, my life. Well, okay, so one thing that people don't know about me is that I'm a cat.
Meow.
That's not a lot of people know that.
They do now.
They do now. Yeah.
So, does that mean that your husband has to wait for you to come to him to get for that moment you're ready to receive the attention, rather
No,
than
because
chasing
I'm
you
a
around?
needy dog. In that respect, I'm a very needy dog. But you know what really works? I mean, talking of relationships. So I used to get criticised in relationships for being too needy. But luckily now we're both as needy as each other, so it just really works. It's great. Cuddle, cuddle, cuddle. Oh, lovely. It just always works.
It's just only becomes a challenge when you've got one that's needy and one's that's avoidant.
Yeah.
That's where the
Oh,
headaches
that
come in.
that reminds me of a really good book. If It Hurts, It's Not Love by Chuck Spezzano. Have you read that?
I haven't yet.
Oh, Alan, it's one of the best relationship codependence recovery books ever. That book really saved my arse back in the day. It's really good.
Yes, it reminds me of something I heard on Mrs. Brown's Boys a
Oh
while
yeah,
ago.
yeah.
It's love is like a fart. If you have to force it, it's probably shit.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I love fart and poo jokes are always funny. So I was listening to my iPod earlier, and up came a track of a really random comedy album by Dudley Moore and Peter Cook called
Yeah.
Derek and Clive ad nauseum, and it's really outrageous. Basically, they got completely trolleyed and off their faces and tits, went in a recording studio and just talked shit. And it's all on loads of albums. There's quite a few of them. Anyway, this particular track that I re-listened to today is about, and it's just all made up rollicks, is about this woman that reads farts. I'll just leave it at that. You know, you can go and check that out. It's the whole thing is random rollicks. It's so good.
Excellent.
I hold space for random rollicks. So, Alan,
Absolutely.
would you be inspired to answer the question, what is something that your adoring fans don't know about you?
Everything.
Is the cat wants to know. Who wants to know? Yeah, so
Yeah,
what
I would say I'm a very closed book, but yeah, having
Oh,
written one,
said
I'm a
the
very
author.
open book.
Okay.
So yeah,
Give
most
me
people
something
know
quirky. Yeah, go on. Sorry, I
something
interrupted you.
quirky.
Yeah, sorry.
Um, I did once write and record a song, and I'm not going to sing it.
Now you tell me. After all these years.
That was a long time ago.
What kind of song? Rock?
Um,
Guess the
that
genre.
that was the idea, but yeah, when I spoke to the producer, I'm like, look, I want nice and simple guitar, bass, drums, vocals, and then there's like a brass band and all sorts of
Oh,
stuff in the
hilarious.
background. It's
That's
like,
so funny. And a gospel choir.
not quite, but
Oh, oh, funny.
yeah, I
Wow.
did try and get him to have somebody else to sing it, but
Mm.
the interesting thing was after I recorded it, it's like I couldn't sing it,
Oh.
and I said to the producer, like, well, how much time did you spend on like the auto tune? He said, well, I wouldn't bother going to do karaoke anytime soon. I
Okay.
said, okay, fair enough.
Ouch.
And a couple of years later, I find myself having some singing lessons
Oh.
and
You.
talking to the vocal coach, and she says, is there anything you'd like to sing? I said,
Mm.
well, there's lots of things that I'd like to sing, but I probably can't.
Mm.
But there's one thing that I know I can't sing, but I probably should be able to sing. So I give her the copy of
Don't
this
stop
track,
believing.
and no, and trying to sing my own song in this
Oh.
singing lesson. And she's like,
Mm.
well, do you know why you can't sing it? I said,
Oh.
because I'm tone deaf and my voice is shit.
And
And she
what did
says,
she say? It's
no,
in the wrong pitch. It's in the wrong key.
it's been recorded outside of your range.
Yeah. Hasn't got the
I thought,
range.
so it's like, if they'd have recorded it
Yeah, in your
a
range.
tone down,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
he'd have saved himself about 8 hours on the auto tune, and you'd be able to sing it.
Something not a lot of people know about me. I've got the same range as Elvis. So,
Costello or Presley?
Presley, the king. So, as well as being obsessed with pandies, I'm obsessed with Elvis. I love Elvis, and I love his voice. But I can sing every single song along with him on my headphones, like. And he's a man, so that's cool. Most of them are in G. So, not a lot of people knew that either.
Interesting.
Well, should we cast off with me singing an outro of an Elvis song?
Go for it.
Would
Why
you like
not?
that? Okay. I will spend my whole life through. You can do backing.
I don't even know
Loving
which song this is.
you, loving you. Da-da. Spring or summer, rain or shine. Loving you, loving you. Da, 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 da. Can't remember the words. Or what I will do. Oh, that's my alarm for my next Zoom call.
In that case,
Rudely
it's time to
interrupted.
end.
Yay!
And as they say, Elvis has left the building.
Yes! It ain't over till the fat lady sings.